Okay, here's where it starts to go a little bit downhill. It is somehow time for another monthly reset. I know I sound like a broken record. I say this at the start of every single one, but how is it time for another new month? How is it August? I'm in denial. I have no idea. Like I always say, I'm stuck back in like 2019, 2015 even. I love my life. I love 2025, but she's going a little bit too fast. Also guys, I did my hair. It was curled so nicely and then I got overstimulated, so I put this headband on and I think I hate this. Like I really think I hate this, but I think I hate it less than my hair in my face. So we're just gonna pretend like this looks really cute and this was intentional. We're gonna live, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna love, and we're gonna learn to maybe not end up with this again. Anyway, if you're new here, hi, my name is Beth. One thing I'm challenging myself to do this year is film a monthly reset every single month. So far, I only missed 1 month, and it was when I lost my voice after Coachella and I literally couldn't speak for 5 weeks. Also, I love to overshare in my vlogs and go to a lot of concerts. So if you haven't subscribed, you should definitely subscribe because we're basically best friends at this point. First thing we're gonna do, like we do in every single monthly reset, is a massive deep clean of the apartment. I say this in every monthly reset, but it's because it's genuinely so true. If my space is messy and cluttered, my mind just feels so chaotic. I can't think straight, I get overwhelmed really easily, and I truly just feel like I can't do any other parts of my reset until my space around me is clean. It's like everything in my brain is on pause until the physical space is in order. So there are 4 main areas in my apartment that I deep clean every month. We do have an office as well, but that is Cal's space, so he deep cleans that in his own time. I just have to focus on the rest of the apartment now, and I really just try to take it 1 room at a time. Otherwise, honestly guys, I get overwhelmed and it just makes it feel like it's never ending. Each room usually takes about 30 minutes if I really lock in, so I try to give myself around 2 hours to get through everything. I wipe down surfaces, clean our mirrors, vacuum, basically just everything that builds up over time and doesn't always get done during the week. And I'm a big fan of putting on a podcast, a playlist, or even listening to a YouTube video in the background while I'm doing this, because guys, I feel like this makes it feel less like a chore and more like me time. I don't know if that sounds weird, but it's true, I swear. And I've learned over time that when I dedicate time for this monthly deep clean, it helps my mental health so much. Like it's not just about the space looking nice and being clean, it's really about feeling like I have control over my environment. And once it's done, it's so much easier to keep things tidy throughout the rest of the month with quick little like maintenance cleans, I guess, here and there. So if you're feeling stuck or mentally cluttered or don't know where to start with your reset for the month, I highly recommend setting aside time to do a proper deep clean. Take it 1 room at a time, pop on a playlist, put on a YouTube video. I promise it will help clear your head more than you think and get you ready for the next month. I feel like a brand new bitch now that this apartment is clean. I'm like, should I invite someone over? I want someone to come over so they can appreciate how clean the apartment is. I promise I do it for myself and for Cal, but also I'm like, does anyone want to come and see what I've done? It reminds me of when I would redecorate my room when I was a kid and then present it to my parents. I was like, come in and see what I've done. Look at my masterpiece. Anyway, now that the deep clean is done, I'm gonna move into my digital deep clean. This is where I tidy up my MacBook. I file any files that are just sitting on my desktop or in my downloads folder. I move any content from the month that I don't need anymore over to my hard drive. And then I do a similar thing on my phone. I go through my text messages. I actually haven't done this in a while, so there's a bunch I have to delete. I clean up my home screen. I delete any apps I don't need anymore. I try to spend about 15 to 20 minutes going through my photos because I have over like 50,000 or something on my phone and I fear it's getting a little bit ridiculous. And then I also like to do a social media tidy up. This is where I go onto my Instagram, mainly just my Instagram to be honest, and I check who I'm following. I unfollow anybody that I don't want to follow anymore. And sometimes, honestly, I've said it before, I will unfollow people that I like, but I feel like they don't positively influence me and my time on social media. I think it's so important to control what you consume to the best of your ability. You obviously can't control everything you consume on social media because there's the For You page, the Explore page, there's sponsored ads. So I think it's best to control what you can, and that is who you follow. And that is my whole entire digital deep clean. I always feel so good once this is done. All right, let's do a little bit of a monthly reflection. I do my reflection every month digitally, so if I look down to the right or your left, or is it your right? I'm not too sure, but if I'm looking down this way, it's because my laptop is here and I do my reflection digitally. So in my Notion, also I have a template of my Notion linked below if you guys are interested. I basically downloaded a template, but then I customized it a lot. So if you're interested, that will be linked below for you. But on my goals page, which we'll get into a little bit later, I have a section where I can do a little end of month review, basically just recapping and reviewing obviously the month. So I have 4 sections and then I just jot 5 thoughts under each section. So there's liked, what did I enjoy most this month, learned, what did I learn this month, lacked, what could I have done better this month, and longed for, what do I wish existed or was possible to make this month run smoother. I think an end of month reflection is such a good thing to do. It just helps you kind of get in the right mindset before you set your goals for the next month, because you can see what worked, what didn't work, and kind of just get your head. I literally just went to say get your head in the game, but just get into the right mindset before you set your goals. So let's do this monthly reflection. Time to go through my July goals and see how I did. I always get so nervous doing this with you guys, but I think it's good because it holds me accountable, because throughout the month I'm like, I have to share this all with you, so I better do some of this. But let me show you my goal setup in case this is the first monthly reset of mine that you're watching. But in my Notion, I have this page, it's called 2025 goals. To the left, I have my word for the year, which is thrive, a little definition of the word. I honestly just have that there because I think it looks aesthetically pleasing. It's pretty obvious what thrive means. Then underneath that, I have my 2025 goals. And then to the right of that, I have my weekly goals. And underneath there, I have my monthly goals. Now, as you can see for my 2025 goals, I break them into 6 sections, which are work, physical, financial, mental, hobbies, and personal. And I have 2 goals under each category. And I follow that same setup for my monthly goals and my weekly goals as well. And in theory, my weekly goals help me achieve my monthly goals, and my monthly goals help me achieve my yearly goals. In theory, okay? I'm not saying I'm perfect because damn, yeah. Anyway, all right, here are my monthly goals for July. You can see them all here, the type of them, and then I also have this status section where I can change the goal to not started, in progress, done, or next year. So let's go through and see how I did. Post on all social media platforms, done. We slayed that. I did miss some short form days that I wanted to post, but in general, as a whole, I think I was really consistent with posting on everything. And all platforms to me means YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Sign a new YouTube retainer, done. I'm so happy about that. Keep up with Pilates and 10K steps, done. Okay, so far we're slaying this. I'm feeling really good right now. I'm just not gonna look any further down than where we are because it could start to get a bit depressing. Start new supplement routine, done. Create updated budget to reflect new income, done. I even made my 2026 budget. I went crazy one day. I was like, I'm ready to just get done, get organized. It's literally July. I don't need to be making a 2026 budget. Open this new account. Done. Cal and I did that. Okay, here's where it starts to go a little bit downhill. Find new therapist. Not started. Not even in progress. I straight up haven't done that. I think I told you in my last reset, but the therapist I was seeing went on maternity leave, and she told me that she would pass my notes on and the office would find me a new therapist and reach out to me, but they haven't reached out to me, so I should reach back out to them and deal with this, but I haven't. I also have 2 overseas trips happening towards the end of this year, so I don't know if I want to just wait until next year to start my therapy journey again. I don't know. Not started. Logs for social media free days. Guys, I haven't done any. I still have time because technically today is Wednesday 23rd. I had to film this earlier than I usually would because I'm going to Lollapalooza. I'm so excited. Look, I'm going to change this to in progress because I will do at least one, but yeah, we can't tick her as done. Read 2 books and log. I'm so close to finishing my second book, so I'm gonna mark this as done because I will finish it before the end of the month. I have 8 days, 7 days. I 100% will finish it. I also have been reading every single night. Well, for the most part. You guys will be so proud of me. Practice piano once. Book Paris accommodation, done. I'm so excited and I'm so happy that's done. Everything for our Europe trip is now booked, so I'm very happy. And follow new hair routine, done. Guys, I think we did pretty well. 9 out of 12. I don't know what percentage that is, but I'm happy with that. And honestly, the goals that I didn't achieve are not my most important ones. Well, like all of my goals are important, but I feel like at different times of the year, I'm focusing on some more than others. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Anyway, now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and set my goals for August. And what I'm gonna do is use what I just found out from updating my July goals and also that end of month review / reflection that I just did, which I keep underneath that monthly goal section. Okay, I have an update about my habit tracker / weekly goals situation. If you've watched my monthly resets, you will know that I recently got a habit tracker maybe 2 months ago. It has changed my life. I've had a habit tracker in the past, but it was an Excel spreadsheet and I just straight up never filled it out. And then from that, just never did my habits. I'm definitely someone who likes to tick things off. I like to keep myself accountable and see my progress. But if it's hard, I'm probably not gonna do it, which I feel like a lot of people can probably relate to. So I got this habit tracker. I'll put it up on the screen and I have it here on my home screen. Dude, this has literally changed my life. I do these habits so much more than when I didn't have this habit tracker. And I love having it on my phone screen, especially my second phone screen, because I don't need to see it every time I unlock my phone. But to get to my other apps that I don't have on my home screen, I have to slide and I see it there. So these are the habits that I have and I'm really happy. One thing I'm proud about as well is that I haven't been really hard on myself if I haven't achieved every single habit for every day. I feel like you guys will know this about me by now, but I can be very hard on myself and a very big all or nothing person. And I think this app could have got toxic so fast if I was really, really harsh on myself about the fact that I hadn't achieved every single habit every single day. I think just having this prompts me to do those habits if I have the time. Like I look at this and I see drink 2 liters of water. It motivates me to drink more water throughout the day. I really like it. Highly recommend. One thing one of you guys commented and suggested that I should do, which I thought was genius, is break down my weekly goals into daily habits, because I have this habit of not creating weekly goals and not following my weekly goals, and then that will sometimes make me fall off my monthly goals, but I'm so good at doing my daily habits. So I think I do have some of my weekly goals set up as habits, like 10K steps and journaling, stretching. I think they do kind of go with some of my health goals, but what I'm gonna do now is update my habit app with some more of my common weekly goals, because I kind of know for the most part what my weekly goals are gonna be, because they're based off my monthly goals, which are based off my yearly goals, if that makes sense. They do obviously change, but they are quite similar. Also, I said last month I was gonna see if I could put my weekly goals page from my Notion on my home screen, because like I said, having my habit app on my home screen helps me so much. So if I had my weekly goals there, I feel like it would have the same effect, and I didn't end up figuring it out. So I'm gonna look into that now. I'm pretty sure it's possible. I just have to put in the work. Okay, it is time to do my little end of month admin to-do list. I have a list of things that I like to do at the start of the new month or at the end of the month. Just basically things that I think need to be done once a month, except for wash my dishwasher. I do that every single week, but it just feels satisfying to do it on the day that I do this little monthly admin checklist. I don't know. Anyway, let's work through this to-do list. I'm gonna put in my AirPods. I'm gonna blast some music. Like I mentioned before, Cal and I are going to Lollapalooza. We literally leave in less than a week. I cannot believe it's happening. It is so exciting, but also so crazy. So I made a Lollapalooza playlist. I'm gonna blast that, and we're gonna get through every single one of these tasks. Alright guys, and next on my monthly reset is updating my tax document, which is honestly not the most fun part of the reset, but it's one of those things that I've just had to build into my routine now that I work for myself. Because I'm a freelance editor and then I also work on social media as well, I don't have a specific employer managing my income and tax for me, so I really have to stay on top of everything myself, like my income, expenses, all of that, or otherwise it could really get messy really fast. If you haven't watched any of my monthly resets before, I have two spreadsheets that I use to keep everything organized. One of them is just for my business stuff. So this is where I track my income from different clients, any brand deals, AdSense, freelance work. And then in that, I also log any expenses that are tax deductible. And then I have a second spreadsheet that's more for mine and Cal's personal life. This is where I kind of track our monthly bills and our overall budget. So like rent, groceries, internet, all of that kind of stuff. And this one's honestly been a game changer for helping us stay on the same page financially and not feeling like we're just guessing where our money is going. Since we're in the new financial year now in Australia, I actually just set up my new spreadsheets for 2026 last month. So I've been staying on top of them pretty well and filling out things as I go, but I'm still sitting down now to do a bulk update, and this is what I do at the end of every month. And it probably sounds daunting and overwhelming, but it really doesn't take too long if I stay consistent with it. And it just saves me so much stress at tax time because I don't have to sit down and spend hours doing this. So if you're self-employed and you haven't set up a system like this, I highly recommend getting into the habit now. It doesn't even have to be like a really fancy, aesthetically pleasing setup. Mine isn't, to be honest. Just set yourself up with something simple that will help you so much at the end of the financial year. It is time to fill out my calendar. I would actually be so lost without my Apple Calendar. I truly rely on it for absolutely everything. I would forget so much if I didn't have this thing set up. I literally have everything in my calendar. So this is my Apple Calendar, and as you can see, I have 6 calendars. I used to have 5, but I split my freelance calendar into multiple calendars for my clients because I find it easier to track my freelance that way. So as you can see, my calendars are life, YouTube socials, INEG, which is a freelance client, that's Cal's business, gym, and then I have my 2 other clients on separate calendars as well. And the best thing about setting up separate calendars for separate sections of your life is that if you just want to see your gym schedule, you can just have the gym calendar ticked on and then you can untick it. If you just want to look at work stuff, I find it so helpful. When I have everything in here and I have every calendar turned on, it can sometimes be so overwhelming. So it's nice to be able to untick the calendars when you do need to see them and you don't. So at the end of every month, I like to do a bulk fill of the upcoming month in my calendar. I just like to get anything and everything that I know I have on in there. I do fill out my calendar kind of really on a day-to-day basis. If anything comes up, I put it in there, but it is nice to just sit down and have this time to just get anything in there that hasn't already gotten in there. So let's go ahead and update this calendar. Calendar is updated, we can also go and update my Notion. Kind of like my calendar, I use my Notion for everything. I love it so much. And like I said, I do have a template of this that I'll have linked below for you guys. But this is the homepage of my Notion. It's called Basecamp. And then as you can see on the far right hand side, I have this section called Weekly Schedule. And basically this is where I jot down the main things that I have on for every day of the week. And the reason that I update my Notion after I do my calendar is because I get these events from my calendar. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna update my weekly schedule with the next upcoming week. And then as you can see above that, I have a to-do list. This is where I expand on every day and all the things that I have to get done as that day pops up. But it's just so nice to have the weekly schedule there and just have a brief overview of what my week looks like. Highly recommend. I really appreciate having that there. And then to the left, I have my YouTube planner. This is where I plan out literally all of my YouTube videos. I have the rough title, the status, whether it's an idea, I'm filming it, planning it, it's been posted or it's waiting to be posted, my film date, my personal due date, and the post date. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and fill this out for August. I'm also going to update what I did in July. I haven't really been the best at keeping up with this, so I have a little bit of work to do in here, but let's go ahead and update all of this. I'm gonna share share with you some of my favorite things from July. Dude, time is going way too fast because the amount of things that I grabbed, then realized I showed you in the last reset is crazy. I guess I am filming this a little bit before the official end of July, but still, time is going way too fast for my liking, but I still have some things that I want to share with you guys. This section for me is so fun. Let me know if you guys like this part. I don't know if it's kind of lame, but I think it's fun. First up are these flowers from Kmart. I think in one of my last resets, I showed you the flowers that I have at my desk. I also got these ones for in the kitchen. I love having real flowers in the house, but it's just so expensive to keep buying them. And especially when we're traveling, we can't keep flowers alive. So it's nice to be able to come home and see these ones. So I got these ones from Kmart. I'll have them linked below if they still have them. I want to say they were like $10 to $15. Also, this vase is from Kmart. I don't think they sell it anymore. You can obviously tell these are fake and that there's no water in here, but I still think it's cute. I don't care. I also got this mug from Kmart. This is so cute. I know it's a dupe for something. I just don't know what brand, but I saw it was $5 and I was like, you know what? You're coming home with me. I think they have another one that has cherries on it, but they didn't have it there when I got this, which is so sad, but I love her so much. I've been making hot drinks just to use this mug. I've definitely showed you guys my Kindle before, but I have been loving her so much. I've been reading almost every single night. I think because I was absolutely loving the book I was reading. I finished it recently. It was Down the Drain by Julia Fox. Highly recommend. It is very intense to say the least, but it's such a good book and I just love having my Kindle at night. Sometimes I fall asleep reading. It's just so nice. I don't have to have any lights on. It's lightweight. Also, I have cute stickers on it. Highly recommend a Kindle if you're wanting to get into reading or even just wanting to improve your night routine and getting better sleep. I feel like having a Kindle and reading before bed is such a good habit to have, and having a book on a Kindle, it's kind of like scrolling on a phone in a sense. Like, it's still a digital screen, but it's better for your eyes, so you can like gaslight yourself that you're just on your phone. I don't know. This is so random, but I love these protein bars so much. They're my go-to protein bar. It's the salted caramel protein bar by Greenback. Random, but I love them. I grabbed a bunch the other day from Woolworths because they were half price and I like to take them on planes if I have a long plane ride, which I do next week. They're vegan, they're gluten-free, no artificial colors, flavors or preservatives, and they're coated in dark chocolate. Period. I love them. I started using this Kevin Murphy Young Again treatment oil. Dude, this is insane. My hairdresser wanted me to start using this and I love it so much. It has made my hair, like my natural hair and my extensions, feel so nice. I don't know what Mr. Kevin Murphy puts in this, but he really ate down with it because this is amazing. Also, guys, I got this Fat Oil Slick Click NYX shiny lip balm. So I didn't know what I was meant to read, but I got this in PR and it is so good. I'm wearing it right now. It's kind of like a lipstick, but it's also, I guess, a fat oil. So it doesn't feel dry. It feels nice and smooth and hydrating. Obviously, it's not like Vaseline or Aquaphor or anything, but I love being able to have a little bit of color on my lips. That's really close to my natural lip color. This is in the shade 15, story or post. Okay, Instagram. And yeah, it just feels so nice. This is the first time I tried it today and I was like, this is immediately one of my July favorites. I'm obsessed. These last few things I got sent in PR as well. This is the Super Collagen Moisture Dew by Parkey. I feel like that's how you pronounce it. This is so good. It makes my skin so soft. I am scared of when I run out of this because I fear I'm gonna have to repurchase it. Same with these two products as well. These are by the brand, I wanna say Calcium? I'm not 100% sure, but this is their restorative hydration cream and this is their recovery night complex. When I use these, my skin is so nice and smooth in the morning. I also started incorporating every product by itself before doing them all together. That way, if I did have any irritations, I would be able to see which product it was, and also I'd be able to see which one was doing well if my skin was performing well, because I would not be wanting to buy all 3 products again if just 1 or 2 of them was actually doing the work. You know what I mean? But yeah, I love all of them. I will say, this is so random, but this one kind of smells a little funky. And when I put it on my face, I'm like, yeah, I don't love it, but I love what it does. I did get sent these in PR, like I said. I'm kind of nervous to look up how much they cost because I fear I might have to repurchase when I run out. Oh, you know what is also a July favorite for me? I got the Eternal Sunshine and Guts vinyls. The Eternal Sunshine is a red disc with an alternate cover. This is the exact exact vinyl that I wanted. I found it in Happy Valley and immediately was like, I have to get this because I have been looking for it for a while, not actively, but I was always like, if I stumble across it, she might have to come home with me. And on that same day, I found the Guts Spilled vinyl. This is the record, is it the Record Store Day edition one? It's this one here. To be honest, I'd seen this a couple of times in Happy Valley and I hadn't grabbed it because I hadn't wanted to like drop the money on it, but I kept seeing it and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna regret buying this. I'm not gonna regret it. So they are my two new additions straight to the vinyl wall, and I fear they might not be coming down for a while because they're both phenomenal albums. Okay, we have officially finished resetting for August. Saying August feels crazy. Like, what do you mean? It means it's definitely under 100 days until I turn 30. Thank God I don't need to worry about that right now, right? Anyway, if you guys have watched this far, comment down below the sponge emoji with the little bubbles, and then another emoji, one that's in your recently used, one that you use all the time. You know what I mean? Also, if you've watched this far and you haven't subscribed, you should definitely subscribe because we're basically best friends at this point. I love you guys so much and I will see you in my next vlog. Bye!